Join me in the words in your thank you in the order of service as we like to close. We like
to speak in the vote, find our best spiritual meaning and celebration of the life we share together.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Low Country. I'm Dave Kelly, and I'm one of your board members, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all to our service this morning. You'll notice in the order of service that our Reverend Charlie Tyler was to be standing here, so I'm his substitute, because he's been called away by his 10-year-old grandson, because his grandson wanted him to be in attendance for his performance this weekend. So the grandchildren call, the grandparents react. Unitarian Universalist is a liberal religious tradition that reaffirms the worth of all life, advocates freedom of belief, and the individual search for truth and meaning. It's one of our congregation's traditions to start each service by recognizing our first or second visitors. If you're a visitor and be willing to stand and give your name and where you're from, we'd like an opportunity to welcome you and acknowledge you. I'll start to my left, your right, and work across the room and see if we have visitors today. So over in this section to my left, your right, hi, good morning.
Hi, I'm Denise, and this is my second time. Hi.
I'm Todd, this is my first time.
And in the midsection, is there anybody this morning that would like to introduce themselves? Yes, please.
I'm David. I live in Bluffton. It's my first time.
Welcome, David. And my far right, your left. Okay. So I have not a lot of announcements, but some announcements just the same. The membership committee wants to remind us all our congregational holiday dinner will be on Wednesday, December 11th, starting at 5:30. Cost is $10 per person. There's a sign-up sheet to if you're bringing a holiday dish to share, and dressing for the season is always welcome. David, And Sarah already gave a quick blurb, but not everybody was here on Music on Melfres. Lara Herskovich will be here on Saturday, December 7th, starting at 7 p.m. Lara is known for her delivering inspiring, uplifting, and entertaining performances. Please join us if you have that time available. I've got an announcement from Marietta Kerr. She has a list of people who would be willing to drive folks to evening events such as Music on Melfres or the holiday dinner, just as examples. Please contact Marietta. She's right here dressed in green and white. And she would like to either you call her or send her a text, and you can find her information in our directory. And lastly, I have a fun announcement. They're all fun. This is from Ann Harrison, and it's about our great kids that come just about every Sunday. So Ann writes, in the spirit of Thanksgiving and recognizing what we are grateful for, we'd like to say thank you to the kids who held our very successful fundraiser in our foyer last Sunday. If you were here and you purchased some jewelry from Jalen, little animals made from clay from Lilia, bread or muffins from Alessandra, or snow cone or cotton candy from Reed and Josie, we thank you for your contributions to this effort. The event would not have been possible without the encouragement of their families, so we'd like to thank Adri, Allison, Ashley, and Caitlin for their support. We'd also like to express our gratitude to the Sunday school volunteers, Pat Miller, Janet Raycraft, Amy Hadsel, and Ann Harrison. They rose to the occasion and welcomed in 22 children. These are the Sunday school volunteers. 22 children last Sunday who were here and helped everything run smoothly. So that was a pleasant surprise. And to top it all off, the team effort by the kids, get this, the donations, and this all came from you, so thank you, but they raised $185. Yeah. That's a lot of cotton candy. Okay. So I'm going to hand this over to Kim. Okay. And Kim is going to introduce us to what's going on this morning. But before she does, I have 3 quick quotes. A woman with a voice is by definition a strong woman. Melinda Gates. A woman phenomenal women, that's me. Maya Angelou. And finally, don't think about making women fit the world. Think about making the world fit women. Gloria Steinem.
The fight for women's rights has been a long and ongoing journey, marked by significant milestones and the tireless efforts of many influential women. Unitarian women have also made significant contributions to this ongoing fight. Margaret Fuller, a 19th century Unitarian, was an early advocate for women's education and rights. Olympia Brown, one of the first women ordained as a minister in the United States, was a staunch supporter of women's suffrage. Their legacies continue to inspire and empower women today. Unfortunately, the fight for women's rights is far from over. Issues such as the gender pay gap, reproductive rights, and gender-based violence remain critical areas of focus. By building on foundations laid by past pioneers, today's activists continue to push for a more equitable and just society for all women. Women in the 18th and 19th century were supposed to stay in their place, in the home, raising children, not get an education, not vote, not work, not to think for themselves about God or life, but somehow Unitarian and Universalist women didn't always fit the mold. And later, we will meet a few of those women. So I believe now we have hymn number 123, Spirit of Life.
On behalf of the Sandalwood Pantry and Bluffton Self-Help, thank you for your continued support of their mission in providing non-perishable food items. We welcome your weekly donations that are placed at the table in the back of the sanctuary here. Also, in support of the work that we do within the walls of this beloved community and also outside, we will offer the basket for your contributions. Those who are visiting us for the first or second time, we ask that you please let the basket pass, because your presence is your gift to us. This is the time in our service where we share our joys and concerns. We share our joys in the hopes that we can all celebrate with each other. And we share our concerns in the hopes that we can help lessen the burden for everyone. At this time, if you have a joy or concern you'd like to share, please come forward, take a stone from the basket, Give us your name and briefly share with us your joy and or concern, and then place your stone in the cairn.
Hi everyone, I'm Mary Lenny. Everybody knows I think I had shoulder surgery on the 30th of September. And a friend of mine came from Chattanooga for a week. And I thought that was going to be fine. Actually, it wasn't, but not enough, you know. So for the next 3.5 weeks, every day somebody from this church, this community, brought me lunch and joined me eating lunch, and then always seemed to bring me soup or something for dinner. So, and Charlie helped me figure out how to get somebody to help me give a shower. I have family here, but they live way on the north end, and it was so nice not to have to bother them. My son came every night, but, you know, my daughter-in-law works 2 jobs, so, because she wants to. Anyway, I have never felt such gratitude and couldn't believe what you all did for me. And that's all. I just want to say thank you, and what a great community this is. Oh, I got this stone still.
Hi, I'm Jan. I wasn't going to get up here this morning and say anything, but I decided against it. I have a concern, and I would like to ask all of your thoughts to please go out to John, who is in Colorado with our daughter. He had to make an emergency trip. Yesterday, she had a psychotic break while there and couldn't get on the plane and hold herself up in a hotel at the airport. And he is there now and going to have to drive back. He rented a car, and they're hopefully leaving today. And we'll be back tomorrow night. So please hold her and us in your thoughts. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Linda, and I have 2 joys. Number 1, we have heard from the specialist in Charleston, and things aren't as dire as we had originally thought. We did cancel the hospice visit to talk to us about it, so we have a little bit more time, and I'm very, very happy about that. And the other joy I have is the outpouring of love and concern that I have had from this community. You have just been wonderful, and I thank you so, so much.
At this time, I will then place 2 stones in the cairn for the joys and concerns that remain in your heart. I will also place 2 stones, or offer a stone in honor of those children who have lost their lives to gun violence. We will hold them and their families in our hearts. Those of you who have not yet taken a stone to carry with you as a means of constant remembrance, please take one after the service today if you wish. Now if you'll turn to affirmation 560 in the back of your hymnals, we will read this together. People say, what is the sense of our small effort? They cannot see that we must lay one drink at a time, take one step at a time. A pebble cast into a pond causes ripples that spread in all directions. Each one of our thoughts, words, and deeds is like that. No one has the right to sit down and feel hopeless. There's too much work to do. At this time, we are going to present to you a little skit that I found on the worship web. The author of this skit is Susan Girard. She is the author of Dickens' Inferno, The Moral World of Charles Dickens. She's the head of the worship committee at the UU Church of Medford, Massachusetts. She's been a lifelong activist in causes such as civil rights, peace, women's liberation, and workers' rights. So tonight, this morning, you are going to meet Abigail Adams and Clara Barton, played by Cheryl Canick, Joya Ward Howe, Lydia Mariah Child, played by Lynn Nordenberg, Frances Watkins Harper, and Florence Nightingale, played by Wendy Serpy, and Tom Duff is our narrator.
Hi, I'm Abigail Adams, the second First Lady of the United States. I was also a mother and managed a farm. I made homemade bullets for the Revolutionary War and muffins, which were not as hard as the bullets. And I told my husband in no uncertain terms when he was writing that new Constitution of his, remember the ladies.
I'm Julia Ward Howe. You probably know me as the woman who wrote the Battle Hymn of the Republic. But I was also a very active abolitionist. My husband and I supported Jim Brown's raid on Harper's Ferry and were strongly against slavery. I also fought for women's rights, prison reform, and education for all. You know, in my day, women couldn't go to college, and poor people got no education at all.
I am Frances Watkins Harper, a novelist, poet, writer, and educator. Some have called me the mother of African American journalism because I wrote and published so many magazine articles. I also fought against slavery and helped slaves escape through the Underground Railroad. After the Civil War, I joined Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony in fighting women's rights to vote.
I am Clara Barton. I was a nurse on the front lines of the Civil War at a time when women were not supposed to nurse soldiers, and it was brutal. I founded the American Red Cross. I was also a teacher and established the first public school in New Jersey. People didn't think poor children or women should go to school, but I did.
So, Clara, you were a nurse. So was I. I'm Florence Nightingale. I was a nurse too. All you did was amazing. And I faced the same problem you did. Although, as you can tell, I came from England and a pretty wealthy family. I did not want to get married. I wanted to serve others. I worked with England's hospitals for the poor, with their terrible sanitation standards, and on the front lines, serving dying soldiers during the Crimean War.
I'm Lydia Mariah Child. You know me, I think, as the author of the Thanksgiving song, Over the River and Through the Woods. It's a nice tune, but I believe I have done more than that. Everybody loved my children's stories and my book, The Frugal Housewife, which frankly I wrote because my husband and I were having a tough time surviving. But my reading public wasn't thrilled when I joined the abolitionist cause and spoke out strongly against slavery. I also helped slaves in the Underground Railroad. Later, I founded the Massachusetts Women's Suffrage Association, advocating for voting for women. I also worked for the cause of the Native Americans having their own language and religion.
One of our members said that in this outfit, I looked like Johnny Cash. Which isn't all that inappropriate because Johnny Cash was actually a strong advocate of women's rights. Excuse me, I picked up the wrong one. You're certainly a remarkable group of women. And again, I will go a little off script to say that they are a remarkable group of women, not because of the people they are pretending to be, but because of the people they truly are. But I have some questions for you all. In your time, all women were supposed to be wives and mothers first. What do you think about marriage?
Well, to be honest, not much. My husband Samuel believed in abolition and many other good causes, but he didn't believe women should work. He resented it when I wanted to work outside of the home. It was only after he died that I was able to really do what I wanted to do, although he died without leaving us any money. Still, I had my freedom. He also didn't believe that women should have sexual freedom outside the marriage, though he believed that men could. The old double standard.
I think I heard someone clapping for the double standard. As Abigail Adams, I have a slightly different opinion. I truly loved my husband, John. He was a good man. He respected my opinions, although he didn't listen to me about putting women's rights into the Constitution. I said, remember the ladies, and he forgot them. And he did leave me alone to raise the children and tend the farm by myself for years on end, while he worked for the Continental Congress and was ambassador to France, and then President of the United States. I confess it was sometimes very hard, and I felt very lonely. It was really better in our lives later on when he retired and we could spend some time together at our farm in Quincy. As Claire Barton, well, I can't really comment. I chose not to marry so that I could do the important work of helping others. Some people thought that was strange. I did not. I was happy with my work.
As Frances Watkins Harper, I started working as a seamstress when I was only 14. And I didn't get married until I was 35, after I had already become a writer and activist. I loved my husband Fenton, a widower with 3 children. But I must admit, I stopped lecturing while I was married to him and only started again after he died. I agree with Julia, however, that there's a double standard about sex between men and women. In fact, I wrote a poem about that that's called The Double Standard. Do any of you want to hear a little bit of the poem?
Yeah.
Reading all of it is too long. Crime has no sex, and yet today I wear the brand of shame, whilst he admit the gay and proud still bears an honored name. Can you blame me if I've learned to think your hate of vice a sham, when you so coldly crushed me down and then excused the man? I returned as Florence Nightingale. My parents exposed me to all sorts of reading and study and travel. But in the end, they wanted me to use all that education just to be a good housewife and mother. My father nearly had a stroke when I refused an eligible young man, and then refused to marry anybody. But I found my true vocation was nursing, healing the sick and wounded, and improving the terrible hospital conditions in England.
Lydia Mariah Child. My husband David was a good man too, and we worked together in many important causes. But he couldn't manage money and wound up in debtor's prison. We both had to struggle quite a bit. After he died, I continued my work and for the first time had some financial security.
How many of you supported the woman's right to vote?
We all did.
How many of you actually got to vote your lifetimes?
None of us.
Is there anything you would like to say to young women today?
Yes. Stand up for yourselves and for others, and exercise the right to vote we all fought so hard for. Get involved. Use your God-given hearts, talents, and minds freely and generously.
Empowering women is not just a matter of justice, but a fundamental necessity for the progress of humanity. When women are empowered, They contribute significantly to the social, economic, and political fabric of society. Education, equal opportunities, and the elimination of gender-based discrimination enable women to realize their full potential. The empowerment leads to healthier families, more resilient communities, and stronger economies. By supporting women's rights and ensuring their voices are heard, we foster a more inclusive and equitable world. Empowering women means harnessing the full spectrum of human talent and creativity, ultimately benefiting all of mankind.
Now we'll sing hymn number 108, if you can all stand.
I just have a couple, or a handful of closing comments before Kim gives us our closing words. Special welcome and thanks for joining us today to Denise and Tyler, and to David. Thank you. Also, many thanks to all the folks who made our morning special. They include John Shepard and Linda Klingman, Ken Lewis, Andrew and Wendy. Wendy was up front today and the kitchen crew, and Steve and Andrea, who are back in the lobby attending the door and keeping us safe if need be. And David and Sarah, who ran back and forth between the soundboard and all the streaming equipment so everybody could be heard. So thank you to all. Well, left out, though I don't have the names, that's on me, but the Sunday school volunteers. It's pretty nice to see the little ones back, and they're starting to grow and grow, so I've got to love that. Next month, December, the theme is presence. And starting us off on Sunday, December 1st at 10, is our Reverend Dr. Neil Jones, and his sermon is titled Putting Santa Back into Christmas. Please join us again next Sunday. And last but not least, especially for our visitors, though there isn't a talk back this morning, we still have coffee and tea and food in the foyer. So please join us right after the service. Okay.
As we gather here today, let us remember the countless Unitarian women who had illuminated our path with their courage, wisdom, and unwavering commitment to justice. These candles burning brightly before us symbolize their enduring legacy. We will keep these flames alight until we exit the sanctuary, a reminder that their spirit continues to guide us. Let us carry their light forward, honoring their contributions by continuing the fight for equality and empowerment for all women.
Please join me in extinguishing the chalice to word to end your order of service. While we
Extinguish this flame, we still carry in our hearts the light of truth, the warmth of unity, and the fire of commitment, until we are together again.
But I felt so bad about this lady, and she said you were supposed to be here. So I said, no, I was Okay, how are you, man?